like to thank you and the council for giving me the opportunity to speak. This city was built from this port. A bunch of people didn't just show up here and decide to build a port. The city was built from this port from its very beginnings over 300 years ago, and the city continues to benefit from having a port here, a viable port, a live port. The port is more than my organization. The port is many different terminal operators that operate peacefully on this riverfront, operating to generate jobs, generate traffic on our river systems, which gives us further justification for maintaining the funds that we need to keep our harbors maintained. There's a lot of opposition out here, but I expect that the opposition has a relatively narrow base. When I see 13 letters that come in appealing, and they all appear to be written the same, that gives me a feeling there's a fairly narrow base. There's a bad perception about coal and Mobile, and some people will say that perception is reality, and I guess yes it can be unless somebody corrects it. I'd like to take a little bit of an opportunity here to correct the two big things that I've heard here today, and of course I have not been to the Planning Commission hearings for different reasons. I couldn't make those hearings. I've been following some of the press that has been written, but deposition, coal deposition on houses and fences and things like that has been one of the complaints. The other complaint is air quality. We have been doing some studying on air deposition and air quality. And we have, I've heard reference to scientific studies, but I haven't seen any evidence of any scientific studies. We have studies. The deposition studies that we did in 2012 and 2014 showed 10 to 20% of the material that was collected in those swabs that were taken in 4 locations in Church Street and down the bay were only about 10 to 20%. That means that there's 80% to 90% of something else. I don't know what you want to call it. If you want to get real unscientific, let's just call it dirt. The other is air quality. We have been concerned, and I'm going to tell you, we had a speaker, a very compelling speaker, came up here and say that he worked at McDuffie for about 20 years, and he's probably pretty right. He built some wild and woolly days back there at McDuffie. We had I didn't come here till he worked until about 96 or 97. I came in 99. And we had to make a lot of changes at McDuffie. It was difficult because the docks was broke at the time. I mean, dead broke. And but we had to do some things, and we did a lot of things since 1999 to make McDuffie better. And a lot of those things involved the very things that Walter Energy is talking about doing in building a new coal terminal. They have an advantage over us, and if they would be building a new terminal where they can deploy this advanced technology that we are now deploying and have deployed and are deploying more, they have the advantages of doing it on the front end. But backing up just a little bit, the problems we had, we did a most recent upgrade to our sprinkler and water district system. We did some before and after testing. It's not just deposition testing, but air quality testing. And we measured our air quality. We set up air quality testers, not off in the boonies, but on McDuffie Island, on top of one of the electrical buildings. If it's bad there, it could be bad somewhere else. If it's not bad there, now how in the world is it going to get to Oakland, or get to Lyons, or get down the bay, if it's not bad on Dolphin Island? We compared those tests to existing EPA testers that are on Telegraph Road, about 2 miles north of Mobile, and at Beauregard and Water to the west. We found that the results that we got were substantially less, both before and after. So there really wasn't any. This was testing for PM10, and I'm not the scientist, but PM10 is the stuff that is supposed to cause you problems. And so they tested very low, and we'd be glad to share those tests with the appropriate individuals. And we are continuing to do tests. And but what I'm kind of getting down to, we did put in a lot of measures. We're putting in additional measures. We had 7 city council members agreed to take some time and come out and let us show what it looks like inside of a coal terminal. And that was good. They could see things like water misters. They could see us take a rail car and dump a rail car completely over. You would think it would be a big cloud of black dust coming up, but there wasn't. They could see coal pouring off the end of a stacker. You think you'd see a big black cloud of dust blowing up. No. We were out there, the first day we went out by water. There was a very stiff 25-mile-an-hour wind blowing. You would think there would be coal just building it off the piles. It wasn't. So the issue is, do we have a problem with coal? It is very, very minor. And it can be better. And Walker is committed to putting the best technology they can. Our port is a partner in economic development. Here in Mobile, we have partnered for my whole 15 years here to help bring jobs in an environmentally friendly manner. We've done some good. We have things like ThyssenKrupp, or the steel mills on the old ThyssenKrupp complex. We have Airbus here. Did Airbus blink when they saw the coal terminal right next door? No. No. And they knew about it for 8 years before the final decision was made. So don't think that the presence of coal terminals is diminishing Mobile. It is not.
You done a good job of that.
Hey,